Are you thinking about selling your house, but you don't know where you're going to go? Let's talk about that in this week's Market Watch. Hi there. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's segment of Market Watch. My name is Joshua Barks with Keller Williams Realty Boise and the Barks & Co. Real Estate team, where we talk about the local numbers for Ada County's existing housing market. So week over week, what's been happening, and especially what's happened in the last 7 days. Next week, you're in for a special treat because we'll do our deep dive into those market dynamics. So everything that's happened in September of 2020 will be covered in next week's video. And then there's one comment that I wanted to mention in this week, and it's not really a question, but I feel like it's important because I've been getting that one pretty frequently, and it's, man, I would love to sell my house, but I don't know where I'm going to go. There doesn't seem to be enough available options out there, so I guess I'm just going to stay put. My house is too small, but we're just going to make it work because I'm afraid that we'll sell it, no problem, but then where are we going to go? Or my house is too big and empty, and again, I need something smaller. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I wanted to let you know there are options out there that we've been able to employ, that my company's been able to employ, and every good agent out there should know about these options. So I wanted to share them with you, so if your agent doesn't know or you want to discuss one of these options with your agent, that you have the power to do so. So we'll dive right into those numbers, and then we'll talk about where you might be able to go if you sold your house. Inventory, which is our driving factor for not wanting to sell their house because you're not sure where you're going to go, hit another historic low. We have 274 available homes in all of Ada County, with only 159 new listings in the last 7 days. So we had 177 new listings last week, and then 190 something the week before that. We were staying pretty consistent with about 200 new listings a week. So that's coming down slightly week over week, which is not helping our inventory, which is also on a decline. 274 available homes this week. Last week we had 294. I think part of that is the election coming up. We have some people that have decided to go on the sidelines for the moment because they're uncertain on what's going to happen in November. And that's perfectly fair. During a normal year, we actually see that. During an election, things kind of pause in the real estate market. Typically what happens is people are on hold, and it's not that they change their plans or cancel their plans, though I'm sure some people do. It's more that they say, okay, we're going to wait until after the election, and then we're going to start back up again after the holidays. So that's pretty typical, though this year with all of the craziness with demand and interest rates being super affordable right now, it might not be a great time to stand by the sidelines, especially if the election isn't really going to affect much unless you're in those upper end markets and maybe all of your money is in the stock market and things like that, because that will definitely fluctuate based on what happens at the election. Stock markets don't like uncertainty. With the number of pending sales, we are seeing those slightly decline as well, though staying pretty consistent. We had 209 that went pending under contract in the last 7 days. The week before that, we had 216, so just a slight decrease. I'd say that's pretty stable. Overall pendings, though, we had 1,016 pending last week. This week, we have 936. The biggest reason for that is because we had a lot more sales. It was the last week of the month, and the last week of the month, the end of the month, is when you typically see the most closings. So we have 279 that sold in the last week, and then the week before that we only had 202. So everything's staying pretty consistent as expected. Interest rates dipped again slightly this week. They're at 2.88 for the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage nationally, according to Freddie Mac. And man, we've been below 3% since, I think it was July. It might be June, but since July. So that's really given the housing market a nice upward trajectory, even during these crazy uncertain times. It's given a lot of buyers more options because now they have more purchasing power. They can afford higher prices. And then also we have people that are able to refinance and get into a better interest rate to maybe lower their payment or what have you. So there's a lot of things that people are able to take advantage of with those interest rates being low. Let's talk about that comment that I was talking about with the sellers that aren't sure where they're going to go. I would sell my house, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to find something. So the first thing that you want to talk about with your real estate professional is what you're going to be looking for in that next segment of your life. So whether it's you're upsizing, you're upgrading to a bigger home because you're outgrowing your space, or even downsizing. So you just need to identify what that next step is going to be. And if you can swing it, especially with interest rates, there are a lot of ways to structure financing and what have you in order to potentially buy something before you put the house on the market that you're currently living in. That is going to be the easiest transition for you because you can buy something, move in, put the other house on the market, let it be vacant so you don't have to worry about keeping your house clean and show ready all the time. And it's just easier that way. So that's the easiest way to do it. But if you're saying, man, what I'm looking for I can't find, or maybe I can't afford to do 2 mortgage payments for a couple months or however long it would take in order to do that. Well, the options that you have that we've been able to employ, both myself and others in my company, is you can sell your house while you're still living there and just make it contingent upon you finding a place. So you're like, okay, my house is available for sale, and any offers that I receive, I'm only going to accept the ones that allow me to find something else to move into in order to move on. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense to move if you're not going to be able to find something. So that's option number 1. Really simple option. And with where demand is and everything, understanding it's a seller's market, it's easier to employ that option as well because buyers, you'll lose some people because they need to move in now, but the vast majority of folks understand your circumstances as well and will want to help you make that happen as a seller. Then the other option, the one that probably is employed the most frequently, is delayed possession. That's what it's called. So it's where you get an offer, and when you have a good agent that can negotiate for you, you can negotiate what's called delayed possession, or a rent back is what some people call it. And what that means is you have an offer that closes in whatever time frame that it closes in, and then you get to stay in your property after closing, after you get the money from the sale, for a week, a couple of days, a month, 2 months. I've seen all around what those delayed possessions can be, and it just depends on what your situation is. So if you have a great agent that can negotiate that for you on the sale, that might be a great option. So talk to them about that. Talk to them about maybe getting offers with delayed possession, or maybe getting offers that are contingent upon you finding a place. Of course, the best option is going to be being able to buy something and shop around while you're waiting to move out. So then you can move out and sell with no worries. But if you're not able to do that, there are still those other options. And that's been just a game changer for so many people that I wanted to make sure that everyone knows about it. So if you're thinking about selling and your biggest hesitation is, I don't know where I'm going to go, that can help you. So if you have any questions about that or want some clarity, just let me know. You can always call or email me. My phone number is 208-914-1095. Of course, my email's at the bottom of the screen, like always. And next week, stay tuned for that monthly market dynamics for everything that's happened in September. All right, well, have a great weekend.